thank you for being with us tonight. We spent a very meaningful night with people from around the world to honor the Holocaust Remembrance Day. It's not only important for the Jewish people, but for the Chinese people, for German, for American, for Dutch, because we know that in face of pure evilness, we must take sides. We must not be silent so that we can avoid crimes against humanity that happened to Jewish people. We know in this country, 3 million Jews were persecuted to death in a concentration camp. So I know you come here to deliver a powerful speech. Can you tell our audience from around the world that what's the meaning of celebrating, of honoring the Holocaust Remembrance Day?
The Holocaust Remembrance Day is a time where my grandfather was murdered when he was only 32. The time that the only reason my father and his brother, my uncle, have survived is because a Christian family in Paris had hidden them for several years. The Holocaust brought to the world the pure evilness, where the Germans wanted to murder the last Jewish person. Why? Because he was born. But the moment the Holocaust had happened, human beings can't anymore avoid the understanding there is evilness. And there is pure evilness. And there is only one way to face evilness. It's that the just people, the ones that have values of freedom, of the believing that every human being has the Spirit of God, they have to be strong, very strong and very united. And strength is measured in perspective of time. Because sometimes to defeat evilness, it's a process. Sometimes it takes years and generations. And when Putin decided to go into Ukraine, we can't blame Putin. We have to look at the mirror, the Western world people, the ones that do believe in freedom, that do believe that human beings are in the image of God, and say, what are the actions that we are doing? China.
Yes.
China. Everyone understands Putin is doing the step. You call it the Russian bear. Slowly, slowly. He wants us to fall asleep. But China has their own rhythm. China will go into Taiwan if the world won't wake up. China after Taiwan will go till 2014 to Australia. Don't get confused. They have their time.
Communist China.
And you are absolutely right. China is not Chinese. I will dare say something that is not popular. This COVID disease that disrupted the whole world and showed weakness. This COVID disease is a chance, is an opportunity, is a kind that China had taken in order to lower the people down, in order to control more and more population.
And it's called the Chinese Communist Party virus, the CCP virus.
In order to be able to do things that are unbelievable against human rights, to spread fearness. And we, the Western world, for a moment became confused from a virus. We put masks, we lost our smile. Thanks God, on the last few months, we are taking off our masks. We are looking. We have to return the smile, but we have to return into responsibility. How should we do it? It won't happen in a second. It's a process. It's a complicated process. The process is by building a new generation of leaders, courageous, with a vision and an idea, with self-example. Leaders that are working before anything on their self-leadership, on their body, soul and mind. Strength of body, great knowledge, and a great spirit.
Yes.
Leaders that understand what's leadership doing good. Leaders that create leaders, and leaders that know how to face any crisis in the world. Leaders that have a solid identity, and leaders that understand always it's from me to we, together.
Thank you.
So hopefully we will come, help you, build leadership institutes, and in a process, maybe it will take 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, but maybe 100 years. But one day, every Chinese will have freedom. He will face again his image of God, of his own freedom, the own will to do good in this world.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so happy that you understand the Chinese Communist Party, the regime, the dictatorship doesn't represent the Chinese people. The Chinese people are freedom-loving people. So I want to ask a very sharp question, I hope you don't mind. During the World War II, when the Holocaust happened, some Western nations remained not only silent, but they were aiding and abetting Nazi Germany. They provided machines and for the Holocaust. So they were helping or aiding the Nazi Germans' persecution of Jews. And this is what's happening also to the Chinese people. The Chinese Communist Party has been persecuting the Chinese people by putting the people in the concentration camp. So use the cheap made in China product of the slave labor and sold to the Western nations. And many leading Western nations are doing trade and business with the Chinese Communist Party at the expense of the Chinese people. So we cannot stay silent. We cannot be neutral about this. Between good and evil, we must take a stand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the sad things about the Holocaust, that besides individuals that were like angels, like saved my father and his brother and thousands others, nations stood aside. But anytime you stand aside, in the end it will come to you. So, when we are here, meeting on the border of Ukraine, from all around the world, good people are coming together.
Yeah.
And then spark, the light, transfers from each other.
Yeah.
And we are here not only for interview, for commitment.
Yeah.
You will need the help with the unbelievable experience of the Jews in the state of Israel. 75 years of experience. We will give you a bit, and with your own abilities, you are going to make history.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
Thank you so much.